Hello. Welcome to DK Bowl Chat. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to work on the chickadee, the bird actually, not the background, unless I have to go work on the background. I have the picture of the chickadee right here. I'll show you. This is the image I'm working off of. And what works really well with this is the fact that a black and white print will show you the value of the color that you're working with. So I can show you. I have a value chart that was given to me by Daniel Smith. And so if I've talked about values at all, this is kind of an idea of what they are. So what you can do, if you print out the picture black and white, you can see white is going to be number 10. And it goes all the way down to black, which is 0, right? You can see the different values in the black and white photo. This will help keep you on track when you're painting so that the bird doesn't have a darker or maybe a brighter chest than the white part here. You know what I mean? So it's very valuable to have one of these handy when you're painting. So I'm going to start putting in the colors. I've got Portland gray on my palette and also titanium white and a little bit of chromatic black. I typically make my own black, and I might, but I'm thinking chromatic's going to be okay. I'm going to put a little bit of lean medium on here, and I will use that if I need to thin anything down. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Let me say, I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'll show you a preview of what I'm going to do today. It's gonna, after today, it'll look like this. So stick around and you'll get to see the process as it happens. So I'm gonna start with the white on his little cheek right here and put that in. I don't remember, it's not that I have to, I could start with the black, but I'm gonna start with the white. And I'm gonna use a smaller brush, so this is gonna take a bit, but I'm gonna paint it in. And my goal is to have it look more like feathers. And if you look really close at this picture, you can see little lines where the feathers are, which are the really fine tip brush, and I will use that as well. But in through here, right here, it's sort of mute. It's just sort of muted. It's just, you can't really see where each feather is. So I'm gonna start with this brush and put it in on his little cheek here, and then I'll use the fine tip brush for the edges when I need to. But yeah, this is titanium white, going right over that acrylic. There we go. I use a fine tip brush, which is a small round. And I go in the medium first and go right into the paint. You always want to use more paint than your medium. So if you're using medium, make sure that your mix is, the percentage is more paint. No matter how much the percentage, you know, what the percentage is, but make sure it's more paint than it is medium. Okay, so I'm going to put in the little feathers over the top of this part that I just put in there. And I'm going to leave these in lines, and it's okay if the acrylic stays there, meaning if I just leave the acrylic and don't paint it all in, I like the way it's making those little lines. I'll paint it all the way up, just here and there, putting those little feathers in. And I can see right in here I'm going to have to put more black, but I'm going to turn it the other way to get the feathers going the other way. And they come right up on his little beak. So I need to do his beak first and the part that needs to be black. Let me turn my reference photo sideways so I have a good view of that. Not that I couldn't remember what a chickadee looks like, it's just in detail. I don't know if I could. So I'm going to go in the black. And I'm going to roll it by spinning it. So I don't know if you can see my palette, hopefully. I'll crop it that way. So right below his little beak, he has little feathers that come out, little hair feathers. There we go, put them in, just little guys. They give the illusion of, he's a bird, right? And I want to make sure not to get that white on my hands, because that would not, I mean, I could mix it out, fix it later, but there we go. Just put that in there, and then I'm going to put in his little feathers one by one. Same thing. I'm going to roll in the paint. My brush is just rolling in the paint. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll try to get that in the video. Yeah, I'm just going to put in these little hairs that are, they look like hairs, but they're feathers. They're very fine feathers. He's a fine feathered friend. There we go. Yeah, each one is in its place. You know, when I started painting, I noticed I looked at nature differently, where I actually noticed a lot of things that I had never noticed before, and really paid attention to the detail. The awesome detail that, that our Heavenly Father created. And yeah, so I love it. It's beautiful. So he's got like little hairs coming here too. I'm going to leave the acrylic in the background, and I'm just going to go with the oil right over the top. And he's got like these parts showing like that with his little dots on here, but he's also got really fine feathers in here. I don't want to just plaster it with black. That's not going to help me get the technique, or help me get the look that I want. Turn you the right way. And his hair on the top, he must use some kind of hair gel or something, because it's totally slicked back. He doesn't have anything sticking out on the top of his head. Get his little eyeball in better. And his beak, I think, in proportion to his body, his beak might be a bit bigger. So if I look at this, it might be a bit larger than that, than what I have on there. And I'm going to put some black there and do that. And to do that, I need to turn the canvas again and get the right angle. So I want to go the other way. Sometimes I have to turn the canvas a few times, but it still works. I'm going to go from the very tip in for the smallest little tip of his beak. There we go. And it's darker in the bottom, so I'm doing that first. I don't know if I'll do the top. I think I'll leave it acrylic. I might do a lighter mix, maybe mix some gray and put that on there. But for now, I'm going to just leave it like that. Maybe put in feathers on him. So his feathers also here at the base, they blend in with the white and light gray. But they're also standing out. I'll turn you upside down so I can see you here. It helps me to have the reference photo upside down as well. When I'm painting, I enjoy the challenge of recreating what I'm looking at and changing it however I want to change it. I enjoy the challenge of that. I also enjoy time with Holy Spirit, creating. And that reminds me, I do have a verse which is something new. I mean, the verses have been somewhat new. And the verse today is one of my favorite verses. That when I first started out as an artist, it was on the back of my business card for quite a while. And it's Psalm 1. And it goes, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on that law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blew away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction." It's been a verse for me to live by. I really like the Psalms. I think I mentioned that before. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and put the little feathers that look like hairs off the back of his head. He's got like a slick hairdo here. Yeah, that's going to help give the illusion of him being a bird. The top does not have any little hairs. And this part of his head is pretty dark. And just go with the black on here and multiple little feathers. Well, he's looking better already. Oil is really easy to paint fine detail. I'm going to come underneath his eye. So we have a line between his eye and the white. There we go. And then also he has a little bit of black up into his white here. Get that on there. And then I'm going to put it on, I need to put him upside down so I can get the feathers on his little chin. There we are. And again, to make those little feathers, I have to roll the brush. And that means when you're rolling it, you're getting in paint like this, you're rolling it in the paint. That helps to keep it sharp. You can tell because it's pointy. You want it to stay sharp. Yeah, I like his eye a lot better. And this part right here looks like it's got a little bit more black right in here. There we go. Just where the feathers are. A little bit right there too. And he's got a little bit of shiny part of his head here. We'll fix that later. Right now I'm going to put more of his color that he's got here by his wing. Yeah. There's the wing, the suggestion of a wing. And also right in here. And it'll probably stay here even as I paint the black, or the black, even as I paint the gray in the front. And just give him more credibility of, he's now really looks like a bird. He looks like a little chickadee. It's easier to get detail with oil. It's thinner. It's a thinner paint. and it's easier to control for me anyway. What do you think? Are you an oil painter? Or are you an acrylic painter? And do you think it's really easy to blend acrylics? Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm going to make a lighter gray. I'm wiping off this black, and I could do it with the white brush, but I'm going to just grab a little bit of lighter gray because I think it's going to make a really good shiny part of his head. And then with the value chart, you also have to be able to see, the difference between your color and what's on your image that you're trying to create. So I'm doing that. This looks more like his tummy. And I want to add in the shiny right here on his head, which could be just little flecks of white. So I'm going to get a little bit more white in there and not be so concerned about it being gray. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of that. And how is this? It's just little. I'll roll this on the paper. Make sure that I have my brush nice and sharp. It's kind of sad, just kind of hanging down, but we'll get it. I'm going to go right over those little lines that I already have on here. There we are. I'm just touching it. This is just white. Yeah, we'll get some on the side here. I've got a little bit, might be more gray. That's okay, I've got black on there right now. So I'm going to brush over that with another brush to blend it. There we go. I'm going to go back to the black. And go in between those little feathers on the side of his face. Just trying to go in between. And it helps me a lot to put a little bit of medium in this paint to thin it down a little bit. Okay. Gonna get his little foot. And I'm not using a script liner here. I'm going to use this fine tip one. This paint's a lot thinner. And I could use a script liner, but I would rather control the oil where it's going. I don't want it to end up in the wrong place. I'll turn it around for the other side. But for now, I'm going to do his other leg. Right over where that red went on there. I realized his little body is in the shadow, pretty much. So the light's coming from behind him, so I don't have to be concerned about this one being gray as much. You always want to be aware of where your light's coming from. Let me turn it the other way. And you want to maintain that. So I don't want to go opposite of what where my light was coming from before. I don't want to change it up mid painting. And you know, I need to do this branch still. I didn't do that yet. Oh well. I don't think I dished up any reddish brown this time. I'll have to get that later. I'm going to put a little bit on his background tail. So it is a lighter. If you look at the value, it kind of tells you it is not as black as this. It is more of a gray. So it makes it easier to know I don't want that to be completely black in the background. So I'm going to get some gray on here as well. Go for a bit darker gray. And go over his little tail. I need more paint. And it's larger, so I'm going to go over part of that rose. Since I painted the sky last time, and now I'm painting the tail, I want that edge to be soft. I don't want it to be a hard edge on this tail because it's blurry, it's out of focus. And typically I would do that first. The tail, because it's furthest away. All right. He doesn't have white on the outside of his tail. I'm going to blend in a little bit of white, see what it does. It's going to make it lighter on the edges. There we are. Yeah, that looks pretty accurate. Okay, now I got his tummy to do. And I did do, I think, most of the black on his head. I think I got most of it. And it's not going to be earth-shattering if I leave some of it acrylic. When I varnish it, I use Gambar. I do it outside, and I use Gambar. And it's good varnish for acrylic or oil. Okay, I'm going to go in the gray. I'll get you right back where you were. Huh? A little bit of light. The tail or the feathers at the base they're really really white, but that's because his lighting is different there. So because I know the lighting's from behind, I'm just going to go with the gray and make those little feathers. Well, artistic license override it. So this is Portland gray light. Those little hairs coming out. I call them hairs, but they're actually feathers. How about the little feathers? We'll do that. And again, that's what I did for the acrylic. It took a bit, but I might just, in the video, speed this up a little bit. And this goes over his little leg. It's like every feather's in place. It looks great for him, you know. Just, to me, it's amazing, the detail on the little birds. Don't want it on the outside, so I'm going to put the white over the top of it. There we go. Now we got a feather in front of it, and another feather. He's looking good. He's a handsome little guy. I can see some of the feathers coming across this right here. And put those in. See what I'm talking about? And this is more of his highlight. I need to roll that paint. And his beak is kind of sharp in the end. Like I don't think he could impale somebody, but I think it's sharp. I would say I need to blend that line out a little bit with a brush that's just going to pull across it softly. So I've got a little micro mini brush I'm going to pull across there. So it's not just a harsh line. There we go. Little blends really well, really easy. So I'm going to bring that tip down just a bit. You can see in his picture he's got it coming to a tip on the bottom here. There we go. Yeah, something like that. Then I can put some lighter gray on the top. And that is I would say about this color, maybe a little darker. Yeah, closer to light. It's going to be lighter than black, for sure. The base of it is going to be black, so I'll put that back in. Go over it with a blender brush. Since I don't want to back paint, I've just got to pull that little bit of beak off of the sky. And I'm going to put his base color underneath his chin. I need to do that too. Okay, the top part comes to a tip. His little beak comes to a tip. I need to get the fine tip one that was working really good. There we go. Get that. Blend that out. What I could do with it is back paint his beak a little bit. In fact, I probably will for the grand finale of this video. I mean, you know, of this bird. I will probably back paint and do little wispy feathers out the side here, because I can see them in here. And the reason I want to back paint is because this looks more dull and this looks sharper. So I can back paint the sky into there and make his beak stand out as sharp. And you know, it's pretty white right there where the sky is. I'll put a little bit of white in there. But yeah, I think we'll have one more round with me, and then I'll sign my name too on there. See if I can take out some of the edge of his beak here. There we go. That's sharper already. I'm gonna go on the top too. Do it just same thing. Same thing, different size, different side. Okay, I pulled a little bit of gray in there, it's fine. And if it makes his beak too small, we'll have to do his beak again, but it's okay. I always figure I get to paint more, so this is good. I like the sharpness of his beak, much better. There we are. I'm gonna need to blend that a little bit. I'm gonna bring darker underneath him, underneath his little chin. It's not black. If I look at the value chart, it's definitely not black, but it's close. So my blender brush, I need to make sure there's no paint on it. I can come in here and just blend this out. I want to be careful not to grab his little feathers that I put on there. I just have a paper towel over here that I'm putting that on. Okay, so I'm going to get some black to go underneath his little chin. It's not black, it's like a dark, dark gray. But I'm grabbing black to mix with the color. And I want to make sure I don't have any extra paint on the tip of his beak, which I think I do. I hope that's not acrylic. Okay. And a little bit of dark underneath. So his chin, his little beak chin. You're a bit bigger, but that's fine. Okay, he's looking good. Right out to the tip. Let me get a little, it's kind of needs to be straighter. Get that straighter. And again, I can let it dry a little bit and then back paint it again. Next time. Yeah, and then the top part is gray, which I did before, but it kind of got blurry. He doesn't have a white bill, he has a gray bill. A gray beak on the top. I can bring that in a little bit, right where it connects to his little head. There we are. And then I'll blend that out with the blender brush that I have. I'm calling it a blender brush, but it is a micro mini brush. If you haven't ever painted a bird before and you want to try, it's a fun thing to do. You don't have to get it exactly like the picture. Close enough is good. Okay. So what I'm going to do with him is let him dry a little bit, and I'm going to take a look at him, and then I'm going to take a look at him in the mirror. And that's one of the tricks that I do to verify everything looks good. I hold the painting up in the mirror and look at the reflection compared to the image that I have. So this will be the image that I have. Blend that edge here where the white was, so it doesn't look like I painted white right there. Back painting is a fun thing to do to make your painting look like you painted a super sharp edge there, you know? These little hairs are, little feathers, I want to make them stay prominent. Just pulling them back a little bit. Yeah, he's good. I think he's good, and I will come back, and next time I need to do the branch, which he's on, and then if I have to go over his feet again with black, I can. And I'm also going to do his little eyeball and the highlight in his eye, which I didn't do. It actually looks like he has a little iris right here. Like he has like the, you know, the color of his eye there. But yes, I will do those things then, and I will back paint his beak again if I need to. I'm so glad you joined me. Please subscribe to DK Bowl Chat, and please watch all the videos on DK Bowl Chat. I enjoy painting and I enjoy having you here. So I will see you in the next video. God bless you.